Did you have a good break? Yeah. Brilliant, brilliant. I did too. I sold a shitload of DVDs. So I'm going to do a couple of songs, and then we're having another break. I hope you all got a few drinks into you. I want you to do a bit of singing with me and help me out on this song. It's an old Motown classic, recorded by the Four Tops. And if you feel that you can't go on, 'cause all of your hope is gone, and your world's filled with much confusion, until happiness is just an illusion. When you need someone to hold, darling, reach out. Reach out. I'll be there with a love and shelter you see through. I'll be there with a love and see you through. Let's hear you sing. I'll be there with a love and shelter you see through. I'll be there with a love and see you through. And if you feel you're about to give up, this place of yours just ain't enough, and you feel love is blowing cold, and you're making that all on your own. When you need someone to hold, darling, reach out. Reach out. I'll be there with a love and shelter you. I'll be there with a love and see you through. You're on your own, come on. I'll be there with a love and shelter you, see you through. I'll be there with a love and see you through. I've just realized that this is the part of the song where I normally introduce the band. Not quite sure what to do here. On acoustic guitar and vocals, all the way from Newry, County Down, now living in Sligo. Give a huge round of applause for Mr. Kieran Goss! You're really glad you paid the money in here, aren't you? And if you feel that you can't go on, because all of your hope is gone, and your world's filled with much confusion, until happiness is just an illusion. When you need someone to hold, darling, reach out. Reach out. I'll be there with a love and shelter you. I'll be there with a love and see you through. Come on, everybody sing. I'll be there with a see there was a bar here in the break. I'm going to do a song for you. It's my own favourite of all the songs I've written, and it's a song called Reasons to Leave. Reasons to Leave is a song about emigration, and I mentioned earlier about my sister Finola is in Canada. I have a brother Dermot is in England. I lived over in Germany for a while. I was in France for a while. A sister Attracta in Australia. And so I kind of knew a bit about that thing when people are leaving, and I was very much, struck by the whole idea of people being pulled in two different directions. There was lots of reasons for leaving, very practical, very logical reasons, like make a bit of money, get a job, start a new life in another country, all very valid reasons. But there were lots of reasons to stay, and the reasons for staying were a bit more complicated, a bit more beneath the skin. Family, love, friends, music, a sense of home, a sense of belonging, all those things that in many ways define us. And I saw people caught in that dilemma, and I wanted to write a song about that. And it's a song called Reasons to Leave. I do it for anyone here tonight who's a long way from home. Reasons to Leave. Ireland's a dream of hope and what the day will bring. The land and the sea is what I've come to trust, and all that I am is telling me I should not go. And all that I know, so tell me I must. Reasons to leave, or money and find better work. Reasons to stay, or music and love. Reasons to leave, fortune, fame, for what's worth. The reason to stay is heaven on earth. My brothers and 10, and sisters I find, for the one bed and room enough to grow. All that we are is all that I know, and all that I have will be here when I'm gone. Reasons to leave, or money and find better work. Reasons to stay, music and love. Reasons to leave, a fortune, fame, for what's worth. Reason to stay is heaven on earth. I've heard about work up in Boston, laid tracks down to San Esteem. Sometimes with an eye for New Zealand, I mean. Reasons to leave, money and find better work. Reasons to stay, music and love. Reasons to leave, heaven on earth. Reason to stay is heaven on earth. Thank you. Please welcome back on the stage Annie Kinsella and Gareth Hughes. How was the crime? Was it good? You always said that you would stay. Never thought you find the words to say. Never thought right here and now, hand upon my heart, I need you now. Never be apart, believe me when I say I won't ever let you down. You never said that you always thought you but I can't live without you now. Always thought I could, always thought right here and now, hand upon my heart, I need you now. Never be apart, believe me when I say I won't ever let you down. Nobody else will ever move like you do. Wrap me around your heart and let me love you. Right here and now, hand upon my heart, I need you now. Never be apart, believe me when I say I won't ever let you, never let you down. Thank you. Well, it's time for me to introduce our next guest. And she's a woman that I heard singing for the first time on this stage. I remember coming to see Fairground Attraction, and I'd heard some of their songs on the radio, and I thought, God, these guys are good. But I came here, and the band were good, but the singer was phenomenal. And I've followed her ever since, and I've been a huge fan. And I love her singing, I love her sense of humour, I love her way of just being in the world. I've seen her maybe a dozen times in concert, most recently just a couple of months ago in Sligo, where she packed the place and brought the house down. I know you're going to love her. It gives me great pleasure to introduce on stage the fantastic Eddie Reader. Eddie Reader.
I love a man that knows how out of a conversation with me. But we're going to do a couple of songs. This song is about how we're only here for 5 seconds, it feels like. And I like singing it for my Uncle James, Officer James. He was a radio officer on the P&L lines, and he just died last week. He was 86, but he was a wonderful man. Him and Molly fell in love 47 years ago, and he just died. And then we found out that she's actually 96, and she's been pretending she was 10 years younger. So we'll leave James to rest. And I was thinking, oh my God, he's going to be shocked wherever he is. But I like singing this song. This is for everybody, for Maura's Stephen, who was only here for a brief time, and for Colin, and for Alison. And I just want to sing this for this time that we have, which is ever so brief. It's called Dragonfly. It's a beautiful Boo Herding song. sing you a wee Robert Burns song now. This is one of the finest love songs ever written. My love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. My heart is like the melody that sweetly plays in tune. Much better than He's Your Number Hen. Anyway, Clancy. I think he wrote it for quite a number of girls. But it's gorgeous. Here it is. My love is like a red, red rose by Robert Burns. My love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. My heart is like a melody that sweetly plays in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lad, so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas get dry, till all the seas get dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, and I will love thee still, my dear, though the sands of life shall run. But fare thee well, my only love, fare thee well a while, and I will come again, my dear, though it were 10,000 miles. My love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. My heart is like a melody that sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lad, so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas get dry, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas get dry. I will love thee, I I'm gonna sing a rocker from the locker. I was about 3 years old when I recorded this. 1947. Okay. I don't want ever to go to face. I need someone who really cares. I am just too sure to miss it. mad, isn't she?
This man bringing on microphones, Cormac Goss, doing a fantastic job. Keeping it moving. There's no looking back sometimes when you finally discover her heart has changed your mind. You never need to recover from a feeling deep inside. It's like an open door. It's like a song I wanna sing you more and more. Baby, I don't know why. You're the other side of me I can't deny. And don't let it go. I need you to know that over valley, river, deep in mountain high, to be there at your door, baby, that's what love is for. Reached out so many times for someone to come find me, search for the reason why. Then you came to tell me there's one fine moment that'll surely change your life. You will never need to question the reason why. Baby, I don't know why. You're the other side of me I can't deny. And don't let it go. I need you to know. Over valley, river, deep and mountain high, to be there at your door. Baby, that's what love is for. It's holding on tight on Saturday night, and knowing that you'll be there in the morning light. And if I had a voice for the diamonds and pearls, in this whole wide world, I'd be loving about you. It's true, baby. I don't know why. You're the other side of me I can't slow, rough and rocky. Don't that sea look wide and deep? Don't my baby look the sweetest when he's in my arms asleep? One more kiss before I leave you. One more kiss before we part. You have caused me lots of trouble, darling. You have broke my heart. Don't this road look rough and rocky? Don't that sea look wide and deep? Don't my baby look the sweetest when he's in my arms asleep? Don't this road look rough and rocky? Don't that sea look wide and deep? Don't my baby look the sweetest when he's in my arms asleep? When he's in my arms asleep. Annie Pixela. Well, I'm smart enough to know that I don't want to be following that. So I'm gonna introduce our next guest. And when I was 9 years old, I got my first guitar at Christmas, a lovely blue plastic guitar. Thanks, Dad. This is it, re-sprayed for the big gig. Saving up for a new one. But my older brother Liam played the guitar, and when there were parties in the house at night, we'd all be singing. He was finger picking the guitar, a very good guitar player, and he'd always sing The Last Thing on My Mind. And I remember I got my first guitar, and you want to be like your big brother, and I said, teach me that song, you know. So he taught me. The very first song I ever learned to play on the guitar was The Last Thing on My Mind. And then I was too young to ask about who wrote songs or anything like that. All I knew was I had a party piece, and I was fucking singing it every time. Anybody walked past the house, I dragged them out of here. But then my eldest brother Martin, Martin's the eldest of the family of 15. I'm the 10th child of 15, believe it or not. Now you know what religion I am. Anyway, that's it. It's got to be Celtic. But Martin, when I was playing the guitar one day, and Martin walked in and says, I'm going to Belfast to a Tom Paxton concert. And I said, God, are you into Tom Paxton? He says, no, but there's a great looking girl going to the concert, and I want to meet her. So they're here 40 years later, they're here tonight. Martin, you have to ask her out. Time's moving on. If only for the children, for God's sake. But the man I'm speaking about is, to me, he's a legend, and I don't mean just as a songwriter. To me, he represents everything that you need to be as an artist and as a songwriter. He speaks articulately about issues of social justice. He gives a voice in song to people who maybe don't have a voice, and he believes that song can affect change. And I have to say, he changed my life. It's a huge, huge pleasure. Please welcome Tom Paxton.
Well, my hero is still Pete Seeger. We've become friends for many, many years, but predominantly he's still my hero. I'm still a little bit in awe when I'm around the man. He recently sent me a new edition of his songbook and memoir called Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And if you buy one folk music book this year, that's the one to get. And he sent a copy to me nicely inscribed, so I sent him back a copy of my songbook, which is the other book you have to buy this year. And I signed it to Pete, on whose aching shoulders I have stood for 50 years, Tom. He's the man. I sang the song for him so long ago, and God bless him, he took it, and 2 weeks later, sang it in Carnegie Hall with the Weavers. And if you didn't think that blew my mind, nothing else would. Let's do it together. He was a man and a friend always, stuck with me in the hard old days. Never cared if I had no dough. Rambled around in the rain and snow. And here's to you, my rhyming boy. May all your rhymes bring you joy. Here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rhymes bring you joy. In Tulsa down, the chance to stray. Thought we'd try to work one day. Was said he had room for one. Says my old pal, we'd rather one. And here's to you, my rhyming boy. May all your rhymes bring you joy. Here's to you, my rhyming boy. May all your rhymes bring you joy. Late one night in a Hoboken, the weather it was cold and damp. You got the chills and you got them bad. They took the only friend I had. And here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rhymes bring you joy. Here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rhymes bring you joy. He left me here to ramble on. My rambling while is dead and gone. If when we die, we go somewhere, I'll bet you $1 he's rambled there. And here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rhymes bring you joy. Here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rhymes bring you joy. It's so good to be back in Belfast, it really is. I remember the first time ever here was with Judy Collins. We did a concert somewhere in here, I don't know where, the hall was or anything, but we had a wonderful time, and the McPeak family drove us around, and we went to see the dad. It was wonderful. And so many different venues in the years since, but boys, this is kind of stepping up in class, isn't it? Hey, we are downtown now. Well, here's one. I particularly want to sing this for my contemporaries. I see quite a few of you out there. I'm not going to name you or point to you, but you know who you are. And you know that back in the day, you got up to some mischief with this song either on your lips or in your hearts. Bottle of wine, friend of the vine, I went to go let me get sober, let me get alone, let me go home, let me go back, start, oh let's sing now. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, I went to go let me get sober, let me get alone, let me go home, let me go back, start over. Back in the very late 60s, I was doing a folk club down in Southampton, England, and during the break, a woman came up to me and sang me a little ditty, and I thought it was funny, and I laughed, and I thought, great, that's... And then, frankly, I forgot about it. Till a couple of years ago, after decades, somebody found it on the internet and sent it to me. Oh, I met this young girl at a folk club, like you do, like you do. So I bought Then she played me every record that Tom Paxton ever made. And you know that was the last thing on my I think we better sing the original right now. It's a lesson too late for the learning. Made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is turning. In your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. You got reasons plenty for going. This I know, this I know.
But the weeds have been standing growing. Please don't go, please don't go.
Are you going away with no word of farewell?
Will there be not a trace left behind?
I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind.
No, that was the last thing on my
mind. As we walk, all my thoughts keep a tumbling round and round, round and round. Underneath our feet, the subway rumbling. Underground, underground. Are you going away with no word of farewell?
Will there be not a trace left behind?
I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind.
You know that was the last thing on my mind.
As I lie in my bed in the morning, without you,
Without you,
each song in my breast dies a warning. Without you,
without you.
are you going away with no word of farewell?
Will there be not a trace left behind?
I could have loved you better, didn't
Need to be unkind.
know that was the last thing on my mind. That was the last thing on my mind.
Mr. Tom Paxton.
Thank you, everybody.
Tom Paxton. Wow, the legendary Tom Paxton. I'm happy. Glad I stuck with the guitar. Well, we've come to that part of the evening now where I have to pretend that this is the last song. You know the crack, you know the way this works, don't you? So I'm going to go through all that motions and stuff, pretend it's the last one, and of course, I want you all to roar and cheer, and then we'll pretend that we're really surprised and come back out. You know what I mean? But before we do any of that messing around at all, I think, I'm sure you know, but it goes without saying that it's easy for us to stand up on the stage here and take all the glory on a show like this. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of people have worked very, very hard to make this happen. And if you'd bear with me for a moment, I think it's very, very important to mention them. And first of all, I'm going to start with the musicians on the stage. They've been fantastic. Anne and Gareth heard some of these songs for the first time yesterday morning. And to come up on stage and then learn all this and do it, I think they've done a fantastic job. Annie Kinsella and Gareth Hughes. But we waltzed in here at around 2 o'clock and did a bit of a sound check and a wee bit of a rehearsal. But all the crew were here at 8 o'clock this morning, putting up the equipment, setting up lights, getting the stage ready. There's Vinny on sound, there's Russell on lights, there's Sean doing monitors, there's Brian in backstage recording all the shows as he always does, Cormac in getting everything organised, David Hull, the promoter, everyone who works in his office doing a great job to promote the show, James Rollins, there's that many people, there's Morris filming behind, Shane, they're all working like lunatics, all the staff here at the Opera House, and I think if you're going to give one roar of a cheer tonight, it has to be for them. Give them all a huge round of applause. So I'm going to finish off. Stop worrying hard.